stuck? Trying to solve a problem but you keep hitting the same wall over and over? Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today. We're going to dive into Sambothla's book, Think Out of the Box, and find out how to break free from our mental limits for good.
This quote from Deepak Chopra, it pretty much says it all, right? The real goal isn't just to peek over the walls of our thinking, it's to completely demolish them. And to really get a feel for what that means, let me tell you a quick story.
So picture this. There's this poor farmer who owes a ton of money to a really nasty, greedy village head. It's an impossible debt, and the farmer and his daughter are in a totally impossible spot. Now, this village head, who's got his eye on the daughter, comes up with the so-called game to settle the debt. He says he'll put one black pebble and one white pebble in a jar. If she picks the black one, poof, the debt is gone and she's free. If she picks the white one, the debt is still gone, but she has to marry him. But here's the twist. She sees him cheat. He doesn't put in a black and a white pebble. Nope, he puts in two white pebbles. It's a trap.
So what do? I mean, really, think about it. Put yourself in her shoes. You've got two options, and they both stink. You can call him out as a cheat, which would obviously make him furious and probably make things way worse. Or you can just play along, draw a white pebble, and be stuck in a miserable marriage. What's your move inside this terrible box?
This is where it gets absolutely brilliant. She decided, nope, I'm not playing your game. She reaches into the jar, pulls out a pebble, and then, oops, she fumbles and drops it right into the gravel path where it gets lost. And then she says something amazing. Oh well. To know which one I picked, all we have to do is look at the one that's left in the jar. Of course, the one left in the jar is white. So what did she have to have picked? The black one. She won her freedom without ever calling him a liar. She didn't just think outside the box. She completely got rid of it.
That story is a perfect example of what we're talking about today. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the box we live in. Then we'll get into how we can start rewiring our brains for creativity. After that, we'll look at some simple daily habits. And finally, we'll fill up your idea generation toolbox.
All right, so let's dig into that. What is this box that the farmer's daughter so cleverly escaped? It's really about the invisible walls and assumptions that fence in our thinking every single day. Well, think of the box as all those beliefs and automatic thought patterns we all have. We pick them up over the years from, well, everywhere. Our family, school, our friends, society in general. And what this does is it basically puts our thinking on autopilot, limiting not just how many ideas we have, but how good they are.
Okay, here's a classic puzzle that shows this perfectly. You've probably seen it before. You've got 9 dots, and you have to connect them all with just 4 straight lines, without lifting your pen. Now, what does almost everyone do? They try to connect the dots without their lines going outside that little square shape, right? But the only way to solve it is to draw your lines way beyond those boundaries. It's a perfect metaphor.
Okay, so if we want to be like the farmer's daughter and break out of our own boxes, it has to start in our own heads. It all comes down to what we believe is even possible in the first place. Now, this is fascinating. Our brains kind of have 2 modes of thinking. There's L mode, which is your inner accountant. It's logical, analytical, it thinks in order. But creativity lives in R mode. That's your inner artist. It's visual, intuitive, and sees the big picture all at once. And this isn't about being good at drawing. It's about learning how to tap into that R mode more often.
So what stops us from doing that? The book has a great acronym for this, the FUDs: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You've got fear, what if I fail? What will people say? Then there's uncertainty about what the future holds. And of course, good old doubt in our own abilities. These 3 things, they're like the guards that keep us locked up inside that mental box.
Okay, so how do we actually fight these FUDs? There's this brilliant tool called the TikTok exercise. It's super simple, but really powerful. On one side, in the tick column, you just list out all those negative, doubtful thoughts. And on the talk side, you hammer back with a logical, objective reason why that belief is wrong. You're basically having a debate with your own self-doubt and winning.
All right, once we've started tackling those beliefs, the next big piece of the puzzle is turning creativity into a daily practice. It's not some random lightning bolt of inspiration, It's a muscle you have to build through consistency.
So check out this number, 32%. What is that? Well, get this. Studies show that's how much you can increase a compound in your brain called BDNF just from doing some aerobic exercise. And why does that matter? Because BDNF is basically like fertilizer for your brain. It literally helps it grow and make new connections, boosting your memory and learning. So here are 3 super simple science-backed habits you can start like today. First, that exercise to get that BDNF boost. Second, you know the shower effect, right? When you get your best ideas in the shower? That's real. Relaxing activities get the dopamine flowing, and that's like rocket fuel for creativity. And third, something called open monitoring meditation, which just helps you get better at noticing everything around you and inside you, a huge predictor of creativity.
Okay, so we've worked on our mindset, we've got some new habits in the works. Now let's stock up our toolbox. Let's talk about actual techniques you can use to spark ideas on demand.
I love this quote from Mark Twain because it just nails it. New ideas don't just pop out of thin air. Creativity is really about recombination. It's like he says, a mental kaleidoscope. You take a bunch of old ideas and existing parts, give them a shake, and suddenly you see a brand new, beautiful pattern.
And here's a perfect, everyday example of that idea fusion in action. The shopping cart. Think about it. It wasn't some magical stroke of genius out of nowhere. It was just someone took a chair, plus some wheels, plus a basket, boom, shopping cart. It's just connecting old ideas in a new way.
And finally, if you want a more structured way to do this, there's an awesome tool called the Scamper method. It's basically a checklist of 7 prompts that you can throw at any existing product or idea to see it in a new light. Can you substitute something? Can you combine it? Adapt it? It's a framework that just forces your brain to look at a problem from all these different angles.
Okay, so as we wrap this up, it really all comes down to you. We've looked at what the box is, how to start rewiring our brains, building those creative habits, and even some tools to use. But now the real work begins. So my question for you is, what's the first box you're going to get rid of? What's that one assumption, that one rule you're going to break? Thanks for watching.
Please do subscribe.